I'm going up on my Zepbound dose, and I am more nervous about it than I thought I would be. People do this all the time. Why am I so freaked out? Today, I'm going to share why I made the change, what my doctor and I discussed, and how I'm feeling as I'm moving into this next phase. If you've ever hesitated before a dose change, you might see yourself in some of this. I'm a therapist and a bit of an overthinker. So let's talk about Zepbound dosing, menopause, and how this week has gone for me. In last week's video, I was feeling pretty confident that I wanted to move up from 2.5 to 5 on Zepbound. Even though it had only been 4 weeks at 2.5, I had a pretty good month in terms of having small losses each week and feeling good. So I started to second guess myself. So I was like, if I'm feeling good and I'm losing weight, why move up? I just really started to question whether I was getting everything I could get out of this dose. And that's a legitimate question because you do want to stay at a dose when it's working for as long as you can. There was this guideline early when the medications came out of titrating up every 4 weeks that is considered outdated now. This is probably a good time for me to say, I am not a medical doctor. I'm not a weight loss expert. I am just sharing my journey of my GLP-1 weight loss. And none of this is medical advice. Always check with your own doctor and your own healthcare providers when you make decisions for yourself. Having said that, I do believe it's rather outdated to titrate up automatically every 4 weeks. So I wondered, why am I in a hurry? And one thing that really helped me is right around this time, downsizing Diva was considering moving up in her dose. And she shared a checklist of 5 items to look at when you're thinking about moving up in dose. So that helped me. Let me share those 5 questions now. The first one is, have you been on the dose at least 4 weeks? And yes, I will have been on the dose exactly 4 weeks if I move up. The second one is, are side effects manageable? Oh my gosh, so much more manageable than on semaglutide. As you might know, if you've followed me, I've struggled so much with constipation on semaglutide, which I have not on the 3 weeks so far that I've been on Tirzepatide. That has not been a problem, and I'm so grateful. And the only other side effect I've noticed is some very mild nausea in the couple days after my shot, and taking one Zofran has made it go away. So my side effects are manageable. Has weight loss stalled even though you've been consistent? My weight loss hasn't really stalled. It's been slow and consistent this whole time. If only looking at the past 3 weeks on Zepbound, I've actually had small losses every week. So it's working. And that's why I started to kind of wonder, like, should I just stay here? Am I mentally ready to handle another adjustment? That's the next question. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I'm an overthinker. And so, I could worry that I'm not mentally ready to handle this until the cows come home. I think I just have to decide that I'm as ready as I would ever be. I'm definitely not coming off of any rough patch on the medication. Have I talked to my provider about it? Well, I did, and I'll share more about that in a minute. Just going over those questions on my own before I met with my doctor a couple days ago, I decided that my nervousness and my fear was really just about my own tendency to play things safe. And in the big picture, I thought, I really just need to get back on the second dose. I don't know if that medically or mathematically really makes sense. I'm not even sure if it logically makes sense, but it's like I was at the second dose of the other one, so I want to be on the second dose of this one. And then just the fact that I was more hungry at 2.5 than I had been at zero point 0.5 of semaglutide, which is what I was taking right before the Zepbound. And I wanted to get back to that feeling of where I was at 0.5 of semaglutide. So I did come around to feeling like I wanted to go up. I took all this thinking that I wanted to move up still to my doctor. I shared it with her and she just didn't bat an eye. And she said, yeah, let's go up a dose. You can always go back down. And immediately I just felt better. Like, she's right. If I try 5 and, I have side effects or I don't feel good, I can go back down. 2.5 is working okay for me. But I feel like it's working okay, but I feel like 5 could work better. Not just in terms of the weight loss, but in terms of the increased hunger and food noise I've had. that I didn't have when I was on that second step up of semaglutide. So I said, yes, let's do it. She wrote the prescription and Lily is sending it to me and it will get here soon. It should get here before we leave in a couple days so that I can take my first shot of it in Atlanta. It's a couple days later and my Zepbound arrived in the mail today. Put it in the fridge. Super excited. My ambivalence is gone. Now I'm just like committed and excited to go up to 5 milligrams. And as always, I will keep you posted. I just took my last 2.5 a couple days ago, so it won't be, till next week that I'll tell you how I'm feeling on the 5. But I am just super excited to have it in my fridge. So one thing that really keeps me on track is meal planning and meal prepping. And I don't tend to do it super rigid, like knowing what I'm going to eat every meal for the whole week. It's more that I'll prepare a big batch of something so that I can eat it multiple times throughout the week, or I'll just batch prepare like a bunch of protein or have a bunch of salad ingredients on hand. But this past week, I have done none of that. And I've eaten okay despite that, but it's been a reminder of why I like to meal prep because breakfast and lunches I kind of have like on autopilot. I don't tend to have a lot of variety with my breakfasts and lunches, so it's easy for me to just like throw some salad greens from a salad bag with some protein and have lunch, or make a smoothie for breakfast or chia seed pudding. That doesn't require a whole lot of prep. But every night for dinner this week, my husband and I are like, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? What are we going to do for dinner tonight? And I was like reminded of why I meal prep so I don't have to have that thought process every single night. But like I said, we did okay. One night I made enchiladas and it's not even a recipe. It's just so easy. I buy the canned enchilada sauce and some corn tortillas. So I just sauteed up some chicken, black beans, and onion, added a little of the enchilada sauce to it, rolled it in corn tortillas, and then poured the rest of the sauce over it and baked it. So that was dinner one night. And then there were leftovers that I had for lunch a couple days. And then, let's see, one night we ordered sushi, but I got a poke bowl and it was brown rice, salmon, seaweed salad, cucumber, avocado, edamame. So it was a really nice bowl for dinner. What else do I have? We keep low carb pasta on hand. So one night we just had like a jar of marinara sauce with low carb pasta and some ground turkey that we defrosted from the freezer. And one night we stopped on the way home from the gym and got a rotisserie chicken at the grocery store and just basically tore it apart and put it on salads. Actually, I put mine on a salad. He put his in a quesadilla. So yeah, despite the lack of meal prepping, just relying on like prepared but not processed things like bags of salad and rotisserie chicken. Um, I ate well. Like I got enough protein, I got enough fiber, and hit my calorie target, which is 1,700 calories a day average. Some days I'm less, some days I'm more. My exercise was good this week. Again, I'm doing strength training. I am slowly increasing the weight that I lift and decreasing my reps. And I've talked about this before, but I am someone who I think my body isn't really made for super heavy lifting, or maybe I just haven't worked up to it slowly enough because if I lift too heavy, I tend to hurt myself. So I've been really cautious about spending 12 weeks doing higher reps, like 12 reps, excuse me, per set. And then I rested for a week. And now I'm doing 8 reps per set. So the weight is heavier with fewer reps, but it's not so heavy that I feel like I'm going to hurt myself. There was one day this week when I noticed a twinge in one of my knees. And I was like, I'm not going to ignore that. I am going to back off on how heavy I work my legs today. And I'm glad I did because after I worked out with lighter weights, the twinge was actually gone. And today it feels fine. So I'm not in any race to squat some crazy high number or something. But I do want to get the hormonal benefits and just the overall health benefits of lifting heavier weights without, getting injured. A lot of this I base on Dr. Stacy Sims' work and her book Next Level, which I've mentioned before. And she explains really well why heavy lifting is so beneficial to postmenopausal women. So even if I just stay at 3 sets of 8 reps, instead of trying to go even heavier with lower reps, I feel like if I stay at 8 reps and just slowly increase the amount of weight I'm lifting in those 8 reps as I get stronger, I feel like I should be able to get those health benefits. I forgot to mention here that in addition to lifting weights, I'm also doing cardio intervals twice a week and walking at least 6,000 steps a day, which I haven't been hitting lately. But I think I've been hitting at least 5,000 steps a day. I'm mostly focused on hitting these weightlifting goals, but I am doing these intervals twice a week, which again is based on advice from Dr. Sims' book. As we age, our bodies naturally lose a certain percentage of muscle per year. But if you're lifting heavy, you counteract that and you can increase your muscle, which helps your metabolism, increases your insulin sensitivity, and it doesn't increase your estrogen, but it does help counteract the effects of declining estrogen because lifting heavy prevents bone density loss and estrogen protects our bones. When you lift heavy, you have a similar protective effect on your bones. So even though I do take hormone replacement and I have an estrogen patch, I still want those benefits to my bone density of lifting weights. When our estrogen goes down, the rate of lean muscle mass loss increases. So when you lift heavy, you preserve your muscle mass. Again, you're helping to counteract the acceleration of losing muscle that happens after menopause when your estrogen is just kind of kaput. For all these reasons, I am really committed to lifting heavy, but not injuring myself. So this has been a good week for that. I keep track of what weight I'm lifting for each exercise, and I notice them going up over the weeks. I'll put some numbers up here to give you an example of how I've gotten stronger in different exercises. As I've gotten to know more of you on YouTube in the comment section and in commenting on your YouTube videos, for those of you who are content creators, I realize that my creepy crawly rate of weight loss is so common for postmenopausal women. So if you are past menopause and doing all the things, including taking a GLP-1, and your weight loss is still, a half a pound a week, like me, you are not alone. And I know we're not supposed to compare our journeys. And so, I really try not to do that. But it's hard not to see the videos and headlines about people who, lose 30 pounds in a month or, average 3 pounds a week weight loss. So it's reassuring to just remind myself, at least for menopausal women, this rate of weight loss is pretty normal. Now, do I hope that my weight loss maybe scooches up to a pound a week when my dose goes up next week? Of course I do. I would love to lose a pound a week instead of about half a pound a week. But we'll see, right? Like it might not. I do hope that the increased dose helps with the food noise because I am getting more of that now. Even like I took my 4th shot the other day, even the day after my shot, that hunger and food noise that I'm having at 2.5, I really hope that that gets better. That's why I'm going up in dose. And even if my weight loss stays the same, it's still healthy weight loss. And I am noticing so many non-scale victories. The other day, I was standing and I put my hands on my hips, but more like on my waist. And when I put them there, I was like, where'd it go? Like, where are my little pads for my hands? Because they're gone. Like the little squishy place that I used to put my hands is now more like this. So I was like, oh, okay. I may be losing weight slowly, but my body is changing shape. Also, I tried on clothes and, I think I started at a size 12, and I've lost 14 pounds and I'm still at a size 12, but it fits a lot better. And I kind of think that I probably was a size 14 wearing a tight size 12 when I started in January. And now I'm a size 12 wearing a size 12 that fits. Same thing with, I was wearing extra large tops at the beginning, and now I'm definitely a large. They're even starting to look a little loose on me. And I've started to pull some mediums out of my drawer and wear those. So after I recorded this, I decided to go try on a pair of jeans that's been in a box of clothes that haven't fit me in a really long time. And they're size 10 and they fit me. I'm so excited. So in, 5 months, I've lost 14 pounds, which is not dramatic and doesn't sound like a lot, but there are significant changes in my body that I feel and that I see. I also just feel so much healthier. I don't have the aches and pains in my joints. And the decrease in food noise makes it so much easier to just eat healthy. So far, I've not had any nausea on this fourth dose of 2.5 milligrams of Zepbound. The last few weeks, I had some in the day or two after my shot and took a Zofran and then was fine. I'm categorizing it as a mild side effect because one, Zofran took care of it and it didn't come back. But I haven't had it at all so far. It's been a couple of days. I think I'm just adjusting to this new medication. Now, next week I go up in dose and we'll see if the side effect returns. But if it does, I'm prepared with the Zofran. I still am not constipated. I remember when I was on Semaglutide talking to people who had been on both and were on Tirzepatide now and saying, oh, there's so much fewer side effects. You're going to love it when you switch. And oh my gosh, you guys were so right. Just not having to do 3 or 4 things every day to not be constipated. Take the Miralax, eat the prunes, take the Mago 7, drink so much more water. Don't worry, I still stay hydrated. But I think I'm more down to about 80 ounces a day. And before it was like 120. So yeah, it's just feels like freedom. If you're watching me and I just don't resonate with you, guess what? You can just not watch me. You don't have to comment that you're not going to watch me anymore. I'm saying this because I got the weirdest comment, someone announcing to me that she would no longer be watching my videos because I was too political. And I don't know if that's because I talked about how important it was to me to be in a church that was really affirming of LGBTQ issues. That was the only thing I could think of, except maybe a passing reference I made to boycotting Target. I don't know. Politics are not a central focus of this channel. My GLP-1 weight loss journey is. But I'm just showing up as myself. So these things are going to leak out. So if that rubs you the wrong way, that I am passionate about equality, then just don't watch me. I can only show up as who I am, and I'm not here to get on a soapbox about my personal beliefs, but they are going to leak out because, I'm just showing up as myself, like I said. I finally got my sample t-shirts for that word cloud that I designed, and I took a picture of me wearing this black one at the gym. It's a terrible picture, but I'll put it up here anyway. With the red words. And then I also have this white one, which I'm going to wear today to the gym with blue words. But you can get the blue or the red words on black or white, or I think like a light gray or oatmeal color. I'll put the link in the description. I forgot that they were unisex, and so I ordered large, and I probably could have ordered medium because it was kind of baggy on me. It's pretty big, but I like it. I worked out it and I got really sweaty. It's polyester, but it didn't get all like holding things in and stinky. It felt more wicking, like I stayed cool. And Yeah, I'm happy with it. So I am still working on the pants design. I'm just not happy. It's harder to put it on a whole legging. I think I'm gonna have to reconfigure the whole design and make it different. I don't know. Still working on that. But that is my creativity update, is that I put my word cloud on t-shirts, tested it out, and give it a thumbs up. I like it. I'm probably going to finish filming this in Atlanta, and I'll give you my weigh-in update then, because I weigh myself tomorrow before we go. So you'll see it in just a second, but for me, it'll be sometime in the next couple days. Bye for now. Hello from Atlanta. We're staying in a new Airbnb and I really like it. I think I might shoot a little video and put it up here for you to see it because I just think it's really cute. My weigh-in. Last week I weighed in at 196.1 and this week I weighed in at 195.7, which for me is a big loss. I'm not used to losing every week, and since I started Zepbound, I've had losses every week. Even if they were really small, like 0.2, it's still like all going in the right direction. My start weight was 210, so this is a total loss of 14.3 pounds in 22 weeks. I know that doesn't sound super dramatic, but it's more than half a pound a week, which is considered a healthy rate of loss. I don't know if it's considered a slow responder rate of loss for people on Tirzepatide or Semaglutide, but I also know I'm not alone, that a lot of people are on these medications, doing all the things, eating right, exercising, and losing, a half to 1 pound per week on average, especially us post-menopausal women. So I see you out there, and I'm right there with you. It started out more frustrating. I think I had expectations that I would lose weight faster on these medications, and I'm not, but I really come around to accepting that that's okay and actually probably better for my body to just lose weight slowly. So that about wraps things up for this week. I am heading off to Ireland at the end of this week. We fly home first and we're home for a night and then head to Ireland. I'll post some short things while I'm on vacation. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your comments so much. I love hearing how you're doing. Any questions, any thoughts you have, any suggestions, I love it all. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit like. And if you made it this far, why don't you subscribe if you're not subscribed already so that you can stay up to date on my weight loss journey. Okay, I'm going to make another iced coffee and get some work done. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great week. Love you guys so much. See you next time. Bye.